Hey folks, welcome back to Superior Lapidary. David Johnson here. I've got something to do, just a small project again. I did a small one the other day, and here, we're going to try something else. I've got a rock to cut, and it's sitting in my saw. Let me show you. Right there. Fella gave me two rocks to work on a few weeks ago, and I'm finally getting around to the second one. The first one was a piece of petrified wood. We're just kind of shortening it for him. I'm going to polish some ends on it. No big deal. This has been described to me as a cold water agate. I don't know, I'm somewhat skeptical that that's what it is. I don't really know much about cold water agates from this area. I'll get you a little better look at this and maybe you can decide for yourselves. And afterwards, maybe once we see the innards of this thing, we'll know better. Okay, there she is. There's one half of it. Got a nice little lug in there. I'm guessing there's some, this is made of chalcedony or something like that. My guess is that we're not dealing with an agate. You can see how I got it jigged up in the saw. It was rather tough to jig. I think I've got it set to cut about halfway through. There's the other side. A little top-down view. So anyway, that's my project. We're going to close this lid and get cutting. Honestly, this took about 15 minutes to get this jig snugged up. I've added a hockey puck in there to help hold it. It's one of my favorite tricks. Alright, we're going to stop filming while this is cutting because this is going to take a long time. Well, it's time for the big reveal. It took about an hour and 20 minutes to cut over the course of like 3 days. From when I started it till now, I had to stop it and do other things in life, but I got back out in the shop and finished the cut. So literally it was an hour and 20 minutes of cutting time to get through that rock. Just a couple minutes ago, I heard it go clunk as the big piece fell off. So let's open this up and see what we got. Well, there it is. What do you think, folks? It doesn't look vastly different than before, I know. Okay, there's the original side we saw. I can't wait to look at this. I'll let you guys see first. What do we got? Oh, fantastic. Couple little lugs in there, a couple little rough spots. That is a cool looking stone. Boy, I sure am glad they let me cut that for them. Some nice white spots in here. I still don't know what to call this. If anybody has any idea what this is it brecciated? Is it an agate? Is it chalcedony? I don't know. Let's take a look at the other side. There it is. There we go, the other side, same as the first. Boy, I'm really glad that my customer chose to do it this way. We had talked about a few other things. This shows the beauty of the rock inside and out. So yeah, again, this is something that we need to make a little stand for. Maybe I'll put a little polish on here for them. But there we are. There's that cut rock. We've been waiting for it. You know, he's been waiting to do something with it for a while. Once again, the hockey pucks were the salvation of the day. That's what allowed me to jig that up in there. Right about half. I think one side's a little heavier, but there's just more mass in a couple of the pieces that bulge out than on this side. It's not a symmetrical rock to begin with, and but I think I did a pretty good job getting it good. Boy, that would look great in a stand as just an open bookend, wouldn't it? That'd be fabulous. All right, here's the next step of, sorry about that. Here's the next step of what I'm going to do with this stone I got from the Spella. We're just going to polish it up a little bit. So stay tuned. I'm going to put the hearing protection on. That's the main thing, and a little bit of eye protection, and we'll get at it. Not a drastic difference, not a ton of gloss, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Yeah, doesn't really look much different at all. Here's the before, and here's the after. Well, there are the two side by side. Actually, this one might have a little mineral oil on there, and that might be part of the effect you're getting. I haven't wiped it down with acetone or anything yet. So they don't look vastly different. They don't feel vastly different. And it's not particularly shiny, and I'll show you why. I'm going to zoom in real tight here. If you look close, you can see basically the sand grain textures show up. That's just a smudge. But all these little white marks are little pock marks. So it really feels, let me see a better spot here. I'll look up here. I can actually get sand grains and pick them out. So we can dig in there. So that's what a lot of this is made up of. Maybe if I dug that out, it would look like this little vug up here. I'm not certain, but I don't think so. I think these are there's a little vug here, and there's a little vug here. Maybe I'll go to that top one. Goes in quite deep. I don't really see any crystal growth in there, but it is wet yet and it's kind of hard to see. Right next to it you can see the spot I dug out. So yeah, and up above there is another little hole too. Yep, and that is all stuff I can pull out and collect under my thumbnail. Let's go back up there. So yeah, there's probably more bugs in here than I know about. Maybe I'll try to blow them out with some air. I also grabbed a pick. Thought I could pick in here a little bit, and sure as heck we're getting opening up a little hole. Nothing spectacular, but that. I'm going to go over to the side, another spot, pick some here. I'm going to go back up to this little spot up here. Well, it's only going to take 20 minutes to polish up the other side. I think it's worth the effort. We're not getting a lot out of it. That's okay. I don't need a lot. But it looks, when I'm looking at a piece like here compared to its married side here, this looks a little better than that. 10% better, really. Not much. Just a hair better. So I'm going to set this one down, polish this up, and then I'll show you the two side by side when I'm all done. All right, there they are, the finished product. I'm happy with them. They're kind of a unique rock. I'm glad my customer let me do this for him. They're not quite glossy, but when you get in the sun the right aspect, they look really nice. The little white stuff in there, I think that's just, that could be cleaned out with high pressure water wash or something. I think it'll look a little bit better. I'm not sure, maybe I'll try the garden hose on it when I get that out, but it's only March here in Superior, so I don't have my garden hoses out yet to try it. My customer also sent me a piece of petrified wood. Let's go back in the garage and take a look at that, and I'll do with that kind of the same as I did with this, only a little different. All right, now down to the bonus. I've got these two pieces of petrified wood here. They actually came from one piece. I was going to cut them in half and do it a certain way. Anyway, there was a number of fractures in here. You can see right here she's splitting apart. This one actually dislodged in my saw, and I burned up a belt working on it. That's why I got this little mark here. And then this one's a little bit bigger, a little heavier. We got a nice flat bottom on there. The colors aren't spectacular. It's pretty dark wood. But what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to polish the top up. It's got some imperfection here. I might start off with a grinder and try and get the top a little bit bigger looking. I'm not going to do anything with the bottom. This side is definitely has some fractures in it. Here's a little piece that come off right there. And right here, probably. Ooh. So I gotta be a little more careful with this one. But I think it's gonna hold together. So we're not gonna get too deep into it. But both of these could stand to get a little polish on what I consider the top side, including a little grinding here, and I gotta fix these deep saw marks. That's tragic. So I'm gonna get up my grinder. I'm gonna get up my grinding wheel, put it on my 4-inch machine, and get to work. All right, there we have it, folks. There are the two finished pieces. I think they look pretty nice. You know, they've got pretty good feel to them. They keep coming through with little nicks and things as you get down further, so there's some things I can't get out of there, but I think they polished up pretty good, so I'm happy with them. They need a good solid cleaning. They're full of muck on the outside, on the unfinished edges, but there we have it. Probably use those immediately as a couple of bookends. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, send me a message or whatever. I appreciate it. I get back to everybody who contacts me. And until then, we'll see you next time.